No, 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 no heroes. Woo! No, 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 no heroes. No heroes, baby.
Hey guys, welcome to another game commentated by Justin Tillman and me, Jan Birkemeyer. We are here in week 3 of the Italian NCL. Justin, take us away. Which matchup do we have?
So we have Matteo on black yellow Luffy here against Ricardo on his purple Luffy. What do you think about this matchup?
Having played Purple Luffy in the Treasure Cup like 1.5 weeks ago myself, I think this matchup is quite Purple Luffy favored, and I also played BY Luffy at Utrecht Finals, for example. So yeah, I think it can be quite rough for BY, especially now with the addition of the Rush Luffy on 9, because you always have to wonder if it's gonna be Lin Lin or the Luffy coming in, because they have like drastically different outcomes on how you would want to play. But let's check in on the action here. We have some very fast gameplay. Um,
Yeah.
Generally, Purple Luffy is just attacking live, and the Sanji is like super important to be able to clear the Kuzan that Matteo put down on curve.
Yes, that was a very good turn, I think. But then there comes the Rocket Luffy trigger,
Yeah,
which is also quite nice.
yeah, that's also huge. Honestly, if you don't have this Rocket Luffy here right away, then it's already kind of looking a bit difficult, right? Because you would be at 1 life with only 6 done, staring down 6k, 7k, and the enemy leader.
Yeah, you need to play down a Sabo then,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And then there might even be like another Sanji coming in, right?
Yeah, but if you don't play Sabo, your opponent doesn't even need to see another Sanji, right?
Yeah.
So,
So
yeah.
yeah, crucial awakening here with Hiyori going into Sabo, and then being 7k leader with 2 uplife is very good setup, but at the same time, already awakening on 6 Don will be very taxing on your hand size. But at least Matteo is able to play 5 drops, like 2 5 drops from his trash. Like this Rocket Luffy trigger was so huge. Like not only for killing the Zoro, but also having another 5 drop in trash already. Unfortunately, I cannot make out what the other 5 drop in life is because there's some glare on Matteo's cards.
Yeah, I think it was the Fist Luffy.
Mm,
He discarded it,
okay.
but I'm not sure at the moment because of the glare.
So countering 7k here, and here we have the
Yeah,
9k Luffy coming in. Just this 10k body is so huge. But Matteo staying on 2 life here, so having preparing his potential Gecko turns in the following turn. Like now he's on 8, he still has to stall out one more turn, but if he can survive to get into the next turn with still 1 uplife, then he can go for like some 9k 1 uplife setups, which are obviously very powerful. But to achieve that, he will need to base up quite significantly here. 7 might not even be enough. So what's your ideal turn as BY here? Starting with, yeah, putting out the punch Luffy, which then burns alive to draw a card. You're a 7k leader already, now you have 6 Don left. 4 Don as leverage. You could technically go 7k leader and use the rest of your life, of your Don, to just put down a Kuzan, which will then start to threaten the enemy board. You could also just play one baby and attach the remaining Don, or use it for searches. What do you feel like? Would you rather be 7k with 2 uplife or 9k with 1 uplife?
I think 9k with 1 uplife is quite good.
What if you don't
But
have
maybe,
baby Sabo?
maybe you have something like re cost reduction here. For example, in Ice Age, and then play a Rocket Luffy
Yeah,
out of life.
that would be crazy good.
And then you could go 11 into the Sanji.
Yeah, that would be the best turn for sure.
Yeah. It would be 12, right? Because you would need one Don for the Ice Age. Now he played the Search event, so obviously then it's 11. But without the Search event, it would have been 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think that we see this.
Otherwise, he would have done it already, likely.
Yeah, for sure. And you also would have done Ice Age and Rocket Luffy before you activate the Search event, just in order if you draw something you are searching for, and then you can search for another piece.
Yeah. I think he's considering to just go attaching the 3 Dawn, so he can go
Yeah,
for a 12k swing into Sanji. And then be 7k with 2 uplife. How many cards does Ricardo have? Like 7, yeah? And Matteo probably similarly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 7 or 8. So he does seem to
yeah,
have options, yeah?
most likely the Sanji will survive.
I mean, he would need to give triple 2k, right? He might just not have it. Considering if he wants to put the Sabo on top or the Rocket Luffy, the Punch Luffy. And
I
decided for
think he put
Sabo.
Sabo on top.
Yeah, he has an additional Sabo in trash, so it's okay if it gets bottom decked.
Yeah, and you want to bring this Punch Luffy on the field, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Punch Luffy is a very strong card just because Purple Luffy tends to go down in life really quickly, and if you have 1 or even 2 Punch Luffys, then you can pressure him a lot together with your leader swings. Okay, he's looking for something. Again, a big, yeah, does find the 9-drop, but a big downside of Ricardo's lists in this matchup as well is the absence of a 9-cost Lin Lin, which can really do some impactful things in clogging up Black Yellow Luffy's life, putting them in really awkward spots where they cannot really awaken the way they would want to, or sometimes even cannot awaken at all.
Yeah, also healing yourself is
Yep,
quite good.
yep. So Matteo having to give double 2k on the second swing there because he wants to probably now go for a 9k 1-up life setup. But these
Yeah,
10k
otherwise
bodies,
you always have to fear the Uso Hachi
yep,
that rests your blocker, and then there comes a big swing.
yep, or even 2 big swings, like if you have double 10ks on board.
Yeah, for I think something like 16, 11.
Yep. Yeah, there's the Gecko for Luffy and Sabo. Does get the punch on board. Swinging 8 at life. So how many cards does Matteo have left in hand? Is it 4 or 5?
I think it's 4.
So what's the situation? Like you could still go for Usohachi lines.
Yeah, especially if you have something like a giant in hand, Gum Gum Giant.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't be able to go full all in, right? And you are only at 1 yourself, so probably not even Giant would save you if you don't get lethal. Like you have 7 on to attach, 4 on one of them, 3 on the other one of the Luffys, going 13, 14, which would require double 2k, 1k, which is obviously not impossible, and Matteo discarded double 1ks to the Sabo.
Yeah, but he only has 2 cards left in hand, right? Or is
I
it
think
3?
it's 3 at least.
Ah, okay, it's 3,
Yeah,
yeah.
it looks like 3, 1, 2, 3. Or even 4. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's hard to see.
Yeah. But in these spots, sometimes you can go for like awkward numbers, right? Like probably you could start with something like even 10. No, probably not 10, but 11.
Yeah, I think 11 would be a good number.
And then if he gives you counter, then you can afterwards theoretically play Usohachi, still having 6 don left, but then you only swing 10 and 11, so again, 2k, double 2k, 1k will be enough to survive in that situation. Yeah, not easy. I mean, there's not really merit to swinging 10k first either. It's gonna end up in the same scenario. He will give you 2k right now, then you rest, have 7 on left, can go for double 11s, which will overall require double 2k, 1k again to survive. Is there some... I guess Sanji would only cost... Ah no, you don't have life, so you cannot use lead ability. So Sanji would only result in triple 10s, potentially.
Yeah, it seems like it's not an easy turn for Ricardo here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's asking for how many 2Ks are in trash, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2, right?
One,
One Hiyori,
yeah,
one Flampe,
and one
and one
Hero on board.
Hiyori. Please?
And one Hero on board, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And even if you would go for board, like you will only maximum kill the Fist Luffy and the Sabo, and you are simply at 0, so you will always die next turn. No matter how many giants you have. Like a Gecko, a Fist Luffy, and Leader swinging at you is just gonna be too much. I mean, maybe double 5 drop, but
maybe
blocker.
maybe you do something like starting with 11, hope that Sabo will block. Then you can attack into the rested Luffy and play down a queen and have giant in hand. Something like this would also work.
Yeah, maybe.
But it depends on what... Okay, we see Usohachi here.
And he's deciding to just go for 10 here. Yeah, so he's going 10, 11, 11. Which, yeah, okay, it was 3 cards in hand. I think this is simply the highest chance of winning. Like, they might just have double 1k, but they have double 2k even. So, Matteo taking game 1. I would have been interested to see what Ricardo's remaining hand was, like if he had a defensive line at his disposal. I guess the most defensive thing would be to go Onami and Queen, and then still have one for Giant. Like you could start 10k into life, you will probably get a 2k. Or you just do double 10ks at the... Yeah, that's probably better. Just do double 10ks into the Fist Luffy. You will get a block and then probably 2k, 1k. Then you're facing Fist Luffy, Gecko, and Leader. Then you can hope they don't have Baby Luffy to rocket your Onami.
Yeah.
You can block 2, and then assuming they would make all of the swings like equal
But-
power.
But I don't get the attacks from last turn, because couldn't you just attach one Don to your first Luffy swing, 11?
Mm-hmm.
I think that has to be countered.
Yep.
And then there would only be one card left in the hand. Right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
after Usoachi you cannot do double 11. Right?
Yeah, true. You can only go 10, 11, yeah. And that's what he did, yeah.
So, let's go into the next one. Ricardo choosing to go first. Picking the 9 Luffy. Mateo just passing right back, no searches or anything. Ricardo going to 4 Don. Does he have the Zorojuro? He does not, but he has a Hitori Kamazo, which can be useful in dealing with like tempo babies being played out. Uses a Sanji to counter, so you can assume that he has another one as a backup for this Kuzan here. So the game is sort of progressing in the same way as last game, just that Ricardo had a Kamazo instead of the Zoro. And I think it's fair to say that the trigger from Rocket Luffy in the early game probably was game deciding, right?
Yeah, I think so, because otherwise,
Zoro would
Mateo,
have taken a card at some point, at least.
yeah, and it might would have get an attack, because you need to out it.
Yeah. And then you could still be at potentially
One
one
life.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just going for 11k into the Sanji, which dies. I find it interesting that he decided to not swing with Kamazo here, but last time he swung with Zorojuro. So we see the first Luffy Taro of the set into the treasure rare Zorojuro. We know he has the 9-cost Luffy already coming up for next turn. And yeah, deciding not to swing, so he wants to
But
keep Mateo
you-
here at 2 life, which, not sure.
couldn't you make just a 5k attack with your leader?
Yeah, I think I would have liked that. I guess he was scared of like an awakening turn where he would then also clear the Luffy Taro in the same turn. Like if you are down to 1, you can just go like Flampe, Ice Age, Baby for Rocket Luffy. But yeah, I think you would still force your opponent to have it. No, actually I can understand this play. Like with 4 attacks and potentially the 9-drop Luffy as well, your opponent will need to base up. So he's gonna do the awakening work for you himself. And since you can't put him, like you cannot draw any cards from his hand, I think I like it. He's going 7k to up life again.
Discarding a Kuzan and a Luffy.
And another Sabo for lead ability. Big swing life. So now he's 7k leader.
Double up life and a blocker.
Yeah, now Ricardo's in the situation, does his Zorojuro swing, and will he use lead ability just to still be able to play the 9-drop Luffy, which, yeah, I don't think you should throw your life away that easily in this situation. Okay, Matteo probably just asking what the Zorojuro searched for. Matteo 8 cards in hand, as Ricardo's politely showing us. I don't know how much I like this 7k swing, because it either means you're going down to 1, or it means that you're not playing 9-cost Luffy right now. And I think you should be playing 9-cost Luffy right now, but I don't think you should be going down to 1.
Yeah, going down to 1 is hard in this situation.
Yeah, but he just decides to go for another Luffy Taro into Onami, which is viable. Keeping one down open, actually. So, not sure how much I like that, to be honest, because you are not going to Giant here this turn. And then you might have just attached it to your Luffy Taro and either gotten a life or the Sabo block instead of the 2k. Discarding double Ice Age, actually.
Yeah, and facing a BY now that has 2 Sabos on board, 9k leader and 2 up life.
Yeah, that seems problematic.
Yeah. Only 1 up life?
Yeah, I think he doesn't have another 5-drop. Must be, right?
Yeah. I see no reason why you wouldn't put another 5 cost into your life if you would have the opportunity.
Yeah. But then you might as well just have blocked the Luffy Taro swing, right? Last turn.
Yeah.
But maybe he top decked the Gecko and didn't know his turn, or was just hoping to draw into another 5-drop.
Yeah, it's hard to say without seeing the hand
Yeah.
in the last turn.
Yeah, Ricardo just going for a couple of 9k swings and keeping one down open, likely. Matteo down to 3 cards in hand. Can't quite see Ricardo's cards in hand right now, but it should be something around like 7-ish. Matteo deciding to counter. No? What's happening right now? Because Matteo's still thinking, right? But on
Yeah.
if he wants to block, take, or counter. But Ricardo did already put the hand card dice for him to 2. Maybe he's just trying to mind game him.
Seems like a hard decision here.
Yeah. And
Okay,
in
he
the end
counters.
decides to give the garb.
Yeah, it's just starting with 9k.
Just going for 6 here.
Yeah, he didn't use the effect. Okay.
And another gecko. Yeah, going to overplay his fist Luffy.
Yeah. Yeah, bring out another Sabo.
And then you can never die, really. Still 1 up life. Still 2 cards in hand.
Yeah, 2 cards in hand, 2 blocker, 1 up life, 9k leader. Even if you play an Usohachi here, you have 7 Don left, right? You need 2 to make the Luffy's 9k.
Yeah.
And so you would have 9, 9, 10, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you lose against a single 1k counter. And I don't think that you can survive the next turn
No way.
against 2 geckos.
Nah, that's not gonna be possible. But Ricardo's searching for blockers, 2Ks, whatever he
Maybe
can find.
with a blocker and multiple giants. But even if you have multiple giants, you go so low in your Don that you can't pressure in the next turn.
Yeah.
And that would only rescue you 1 turn to not lose, but you won't ever win.
Yeah, especially if these Sabos stick around. Which they will. And now if he wants to play out one of those Sanjis he just searched, he will only have 1 Don open and he cannot do any more attacks while still keeping Giant open. And yeah, then the Sabos just sticking around, they are also going to swing for. It's probably just gonna be 5 9k swings. You can block 1, but you need to counter 4 9ks. I don't think that's happening.
And I think the Kamazo on board didn't attack once, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Also a bit sad. You just wasted the 2k counter.
True. He did have a window to attack, but Ricardo decided against it. Which I think was reasonable, but I'm
Yeah, but in
curious
that,
why he attacked with the Zoro but not with the Kamazo, just because of like the bigger baseline, but I don't know.
yeah, I think because he knows that Zoro will get destroyed by Rocket Luffy anyways. So
Yeah, but the same goes for Kamazo, no?
Yeah, sure, but Kamazo has lower base power, right?
Yeah, but in this case, for example, we saw that Matteo swung into the Sanji, right? With our Eston, which is a line that you kind of need to expect.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't matter if your other character would be rested. I'm thinking just putting on maximum pressure is probably correct, but yeah, then again you make it easier to awaken. I'm not sure. So Matteo, just thinking about how to sequence his attacks here. He did end up blocking with one of the Sabos to this final 9k swing, so what actually happened here, because he's had one card in hand?
It should be 2, right?
Yeah, a bit confused.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not enough.
Yeah. And the Sabo swing was still coming in. Alright, Matteo, able to fight through and beat Ricardo on his purple Luffy.
Yeah, interesting game, but I think also not playing the 9 cost Big Mom.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's also what came up in Ricardo's match against Dofi. All the time that like there were so many spots where if he had the 9 cost mom, he could still have a chance to play the game, but yeah, I think it just gives you the option to have a lot more dimension. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.
Bye, guys.